to see if they can take a few shots.
Yeah, I mean, gas cans, this is their drop regardless of the plane for the most part. I think Sarky actually is their alt, so to be able to get a good bully here onto Black Tiger, nice knock onto...
Systematico's had that high ground for the longest time, and you figured they would have had time to scout out and have an idea of what was going on that south side of shooting range. Unfortunately, they just send two and just essentially feed SSG a couple of free kills there, and now they are down to two. They will hold on to the high ground for the time being. Dignitas does find the shack, and they can stop down here and get a little bit better lay of the land. As you said, though, look at that map. Synergy, so much room on that north side. Wildcard has a fantastic position as well, and now the new circle has popped. We will cut down back to shooting range, so we're looking at Severny, we're looking at Young Kings and Oath, we're looking at Synergy, we're looking at Wildcard.
I mean, looking at Wildcard, Zealot right now alone in that compound. You see Zraven, T-Sock, and the rest of the team trying real quick to jump onto this. But, I mean, the mini-map, it is just a rainbow of skills right now as everybody is so close to one another. Keating getting that great knock here onto Honey Badger. Quick recovery in the works, but they are in throwable range of gas cans.
Oh, this is bad news for all these teams trying to make a crash, and now Sonics is actually trying to send it as well. Adam will find a double knock with the well-placed grenade, and Dignitas is down to just one player. It's just going to be Shinboy, who managed to not send it all the way into that ridge, but holy moly, Dignitas had nothing really else to do but send it. Unfortunately for them, gas cans getting a little less pressure put on them, and they're able to just kind of send it over, but you can see taking a little bit of damage here as well, as Nikos will go down to his own player, unfortunately here, as Shinboy maybe all by himself, but he is not scared to stay loud as he takes a few shots at E United.
I mean, you know, what do you have left to lose? You've lost your teammates. You don't have a kill on the board. Do something, right? And as you saw, United kind of coming into zone a little bit out in the open. We talked about how some of these don't really have much coverage, dips aside. And as the circle's getting smaller and smaller, we're really starting to see that punishment coming out. But Corsac spotting out Shinboy. Good shooting there with the barrel. Switching back to the Mini 14, see if he can finally get that final tap there. Maybe a headshot and take him out.
Moments ago, we got to see Sonics keeping 4 up. Somehow the dip managed to stay free for them, as we see 300 now trading grenades back and forth with Troglodytes. They'll find Kill Demo. They'll find Execs. Jayu now trying to send one back in return. Not going to find Leda, although Leda and Extreme extremely low in terms of health here. And the TSM, you can see in your kill feed, finding some knocks onto Troglodytes as well from the other side, as Trog is just getting pinched from every direction. Jayu the only one up now.
And as this fighting's going on, you can start to see creeping in the mini-map that Synergy finally left their position from the north, trying to dive in ahead of the blue, also putting them a bit in throwable range here. And speaking of throwables, Vox trying to keep that pressure onto Sonics, popping that med kit. And I think that Molotov just barely.
300 had been hanging out there for quite some time. They just lost track. They did not know that they were getting pushed from behind by Sonics, and they lose everybody in a flurry of utility. Leda is still up, but Leda is down. Pippa will be the one to finish them off, and 300 is out in 15th place.
I mean, it's amazing to me that with how much action we've been having going on, that there's still 14 teams up, considering the fact that I think 10 of them were down here south of the road. But as you can start to see at this map overview, it's beginning to thin out. Now we've got a lot of strength up here to the north, but the circle still holding on to shooting range. Fiumba actually with a really good presence inside the compound right now.
Yeah, they have managed to take over the office, while Capitan and Draft King will keep an eye on Sonics, make sure that they don't push into the range any further. Shinboy's still alive, still bolting his little heart out, as E United has found a little bit of a ridge line to play around by the shelter, but they will have to get on the move once again. Wildcard was a team that I had my eyes on for quite some time here. They had so much room on that north side, no pressure really being put on them up until this point. Now they've got to get on the move. They've got Young Kings just off to the east, leaving Severny. So a full 4v4 here, as we can see Wildcard also trying to open up a little room here, taking some shots over Troglodytes.
Yeah, I mean, I like to see this from Wildcard. We oftentimes see them keep their head down a little bit until the second half of the game, start picking up those scoring chances. And we know that they still have the vehicles. The problem is that even playing that high ground hill, that gives them no cover. So they're going to have to choose a new positioning point to play from here, or else I just don't see how they're going to survive, especially with the pressure of Young Kings, of TSM, and of Oath.
Young Kings doing their best to bide their time, see if they can maybe get that opening knock or two onto Wildcard, but Wildcard just not giving it to them. So Young Kings just kind of playing slow, waiting for that to come in. Synergy going to have to get on the move under the watchful eyes of TSM, but a nice little dip is open, although Mime will pick out Pippa on his way in. I think this might be the 300 dip that SG is going to take over. As we check back on the north side, yep, that's going to be the exact same dip. Pippa a little bit separate from the team. We'll see if they smoke it off and try to go for that res. Shimboy now getting pushed by E United. They've had enough of his tomfoolery, and Valiate will be the one to get the final kill.
I love to see that double drive-by there. It's what it took to get rid of Shinboy, though. United have been working on him for a while, but I mean, again, this action is just not letting up from Sonics right now as they continue to play the edge, and their attention a little bit split between Fiumba and between Synergy. They really need to take care of this Synergy threat, I think, before they can try and take out that positioning from Fiumba. You can see Mime Tiggleton, that is their job right now, and Shrimsy and Wim both with the SLRs out, so kind of lending that helpful hand, but also making sure that the push doesn't come from Capitan and DraftKings.
Young Kings still haven't found their way inside the circles. Wildcard, meanwhile, has a little bit of a ridge to work with here, a little bit of a bowl. Z-Flux going to be taken down by Retaliative with the blue right on his back. They're not going to have a chance to go for that res. As now T-Sock will see them making the run by. He's going to take the shots. He's going to find one. Maji actually going to get Ika as Pavlex now hops out of the vehicle to try to take the shots back. I think he's the last one up now for Young Kings. He's got a rock and a dream, but that's about it. He's going to take shots back towards Zealot, do some big damage, not going to find it. The grenades come through, do some damage, but he's still alive somehow, some way. Pavlex staying in this thing.
I know Young Kings really tried to creep up behind Wildcard in that position, but they took a little bit too long and started to get pressure from TSM, who was taking shots at them from those shacks. And so to see them unfortunately fall apart here, but as that circle shifts, Wildcard just barely in that dip that they've been playing out of. They're going to have to move yet again, and still the threat of TSM is kind of among them here. As you can see T-Sock watching that shack again. I mean, they're just really needing that opening opportunity to find that knock here on one of these players of TSM.
Yeah, they would absolutely love to take either get rid of TSM, and they need to do something about TSM, either if they're going to take that shack or if they're going to just move somewhere else, but they can't really do anything without dealing with the TSM thread. And meanwhile, we see SSG spreading out here. Sonics still have not fully committed to taking this fight just yet. They're just holding their line for right now.
You know, we're 23.5 minutes into this match, and an interesting stat that I pulled from groups is that Sonics have the longest survive time as a 4-man squad. So on average, with 4-man up, they survive 22.5 minutes in game. And so it's exciting to see them once again live up to that stat, but with still so many other teams also 4 up. I mean, it's nobody's win just yet. And right now we see Wildcard finally wasting no time on that push for TSM, but the trades coming out on both sides here.
They had to do it. They had to do something, and they will find both of them. They will lose Zealot in the process, but they take that. That's a win in the Wildcard book. Meanwhile, Alo, you can see, trying to get the res on his fallen teammate as Troglodytes start creeping out there. Penta will get pulled back up, so they are back up to 2 strong, but they've got to make moves. Rusty Zera, the last player for Troglodytes, is going to hold them out while United tries to dig gas cans out of their divot here. You can see Hikerman has already been taken down, but they're going to get protected by Oath as Corsac gets knocked extremely low. Los will try to go for the rep, but he's got no support, and he's going to go down as well. Waldo gets picked out from behind the rock. Corsac now the last one up, and he is getting eaten alive by Blue. Gas cans has to do nothing, but now they have to deal with Oath.
Oath had no choice. They needed to cross this street to get into safety and the zone, and those utility coming in clutch right now as they just completely melt apart. Gas cans, we see the recovery coming out, the reses, and they actually need to be a bit careful. Looks like Adapt finally came out of their bunker.
That'll be a knock on Arello, but Oath needs to focus down gas cans here. They can't be distracted by the shots coming from Adapt. They have to clean up whatever's with this fight that they've started. You can see the reses have come through gas cans. Hikerman is a little bit low here. The blue ticking away at all of them, but now Nikos will come over the top. He's going to take shots. He'll clean out Relo, but Oath will finish them off. 3 up still for Oath. But how long can they survive under the watchful eyes of Adapt?
I mean, Oath have a little bit of a ridge line, the fence to play with here. Taking rid of gas cans was kind of that last hurdle. As you can see, they were just barely in the zone for that last fight, but the circle shifted again, and they're going to have to take, unfortunately, on SSG and potentially Fiumba to walk in safely. Meanwhile, on the opposite side, look at this. Wildcard, Synergy, really, even Sonics. I mean, they're all just within spitting distance of each other.
Sonics has been playing it kind of quietly after taking out 300. They've just been holding their position. Now Wildcard will open up onto Adapt, do some damage, won't get the knock. Synergy, as you can see, still very widespread. And then a team that we have just not talked about, they've quietly snuck into the shooting range. SSG, still 4 strong right next to Fiumba.
Yeah, I mean, something I really want to point out, which is what I've loved that Fiumba have done. They left DraftKings, they left Capitan to hold that pressure down to the south, to keep anybody else from pushing into shooting range. That's kind of kept SSG at bay. It's kept Sonics at bay. But now looking at the circle, as these teams really start to have no choice but to push in, you got to wonder, when is Fiumba going to kind of recondense down? I mean, Silzen and Emmy cannot leave that building. Anybody watching that, those doors, those windows, is waiting to take a shot onto that. But now as Oath managed to move in from smokes, not really receiving any pressure from SSG, you've got to start to wonder when the strength for Fiumba is going to fall apart.
Adapt, they took the knock from Wildcard, and that's going to allow Wildcard to just send it right into them. Maji will get knocked down, but William has to push out from the Molotov, has to pull away. And you can see they will get the res down in the shelter. But now Systematico's also trying to make a move down into Sonics. They get an opening knock on a Mime.
Good use of utility right now from Sharpshot. It's just a little bit of spray and pray there into the smoke, hoping to catch at least one member of Oath. Again, they've still got a little bit of a crevice in the circle. SSG doesn't need to worry, but a big thing I'm concerned about is Adapt. I mean, it's so easy to get trapped in here by other players, especially with the utility that Wildcard still has.
Have to be watching this kill feed as Fiumba does spot out Roth. He's going to get taken down and flushed out. One out for SSG. Fiumba, as you said, that 2-2 split, holding that south side, paying off dividends right now. But now they've given up the ghost. SSG is going to hard crash into this bottom 2. They need to get some support from Emmy and Silzen, or they're going to be overwhelmed here very shortly.
I see Captain really being careful on these peaks, as well as trying to make sure not to overly overextend himself, relying on some information coming in from Emmy and Silzen. Plenty of Molotovs, some flashbangs, even a frag there actually is going to get some damage onto Keenan and Sharpshot. And again, keeping that pressure from SSG. I mean, every time we think they're finally going to break through, they kind of get shoved back into a corner. Similar things happening right now with Sonics and Synergy.
Synergy got that opening knock on a Mime, but you can see Sonics was able to get it. They're going to get the trade. H-Wing going to go down. He's going to get flushed out while Fisher is still inside the smoke. Synergy not overcommitting here. Tickleton will find Pippa, though. That'll get them 2 knocks. And Synergy, Paragua shoot, trying to get on the move here, trying to take shots. Tickleton going for the reposition, but you can see Wildcard. T-Sock peeking up over the ridgeline here, doing a little bit of third-party damage into this. Sonics has managed to disengage from this fight with Synergy. The blue is starting to come in. Do they have time to get these reses? Looks like Pippa will get flushed out, but Synergy back up to 3 strong. But what do they do now?
I mean, we talked about the strength of Shrimzy at the very beginning of this game. Shrimzy so quick right now to get that better angle, keeping his back to the threats of Fiumba and SSG. A little bit of safety there, but those eyes on Synergy. And now with Sonics just kind of getting themselves some safety in the circle here, can keep Synergy from coming in. And then that gives them that entire western side to play from to the other teams.
Slowing down a little bit here as we check in with Synergy, see what they have left to try to push into Sonics.
Oh, they weren't
spot
looking.
out Tig. Mime will get the knock on to Fisher. Ali RV is going to go down. Paragua shoot is down as well. Mime will be rezzed here, so big damage coming through. But look at Wildcard. They see the blood in the water. They see the kill feed. They know that there's a knock. They would love to come up here and clean out Sonics and open up all of the outside of shooting range for themselves here. But the res comes through just so fast.
I mean, I'm amazed that T-Sock is able to stand this way and not be knocked by anybody else. No one's really watching this corner right now, including the Sonics, and that could make Wildcard really deadly.
Oh no. A little bit of confusion in the shooting range as Oldless goes down to his own player as SSG trying to push into that Fiumba duo. But look at this, 2 knocked onto Sonics. And now you can see Adapt also creeping out as well. I know Tig does some big damage. He's still alive, just barely. Mime will bleed out. But that grenade, that's a flashbang. Never mind, that's not going to do it just yet. Wildcard, they're not going to overcommit to this. They want to keep eyes on it, but they're just letting Sonic survive.
I mean, Tiggleton down to 5 HP. Stopped what he was doing and focused on that res. He didn't worry about healing himself. He didn't worry about returning fire. Oh, yeah. Close range shotguns. This is what you like to see.
They know what's up. Oath finally having to leave their spot. They did lose another player, but they have Kickstart, they have Snakers, and they have a little bit of a ditch to work with here as Raven tries to get a little over peaky there. Shrimzy will get spotted. That's going to be it for Sonics going down in 6th place. Wildcard is on an absolute tear this game. 12 kills already.
I mean, even if they don't take the chicken in this match, that's a great start for this weekend. Wildcard have played this one beautifully. They've repositioned. We talked about up until phase 4, they kept their head down. They had no kills, and now they've just taken control of this game. But again, oh no.
Look at the center of the circle.
That is terrible.
Adapt has the center of the circle in their inside shelter. While all of this craziness goes on top, you can see the shotguns are out. The DBS is pulled. He's going to find one. He finds 2. Silzen goes down as Sharp Shot cleans up what's left of Fiuma SSG with 6 kills. They'll turn their attention towards Wildcard. While all this is going on, Adapt just has 2. They're alive in the shelter. It might come to a heal off.
Oh my gosh, we haven't had a heal off in so long. You can see T-Sock right now trying to do what he can at SSG, getting down a bit low. Good pressure there from Oldless, but those smokes aren't going to last for too much longer. There's no time now to go down into the bunker and attack Show and retaliate. T-Sock and Oldless, a 1v1. He's just got 4 HP here. He's actually going to try and use his first aid kit.
He's got to go for it. He's got to go for that first aid kit. Sharp Shot will get flushed out by T-Sock. That's going to be 15 kills. There you go, T-Sock. We'll clean up what's left of SSG, and now it's just a heal-off. Retaliative and Light Show. Who's got the better position? You can see T-Sock just running around. He's like, I don't know where anybody is. Oh, wait a minute. I just figured it out. And now I think T-Sock has better spot here.
Think he does.
Show will go for the instant bandage, but he misses it. He mistimed it. He's got it. Wildcard inexplicably gets the first win with 16 kills to boot.
I mean, that is double the second place team.